So I'm fresh out of meditation, and I thought this would be the perfect time to talk about what it does for me. Say hello to Leo. Say hi, Leo. Yeah, all right then. um, for me, I started a regular meditation routine from the first day of lockdown. Oh no, tell a lie, second day, because I went for a run on the first day and realised this could be really good idea to help me slow down. And I had no, I'd resisted it for, resisted meditating for months, possibly years. I somewhat did it before, but I told myself I did walking meditation and this, that, and the other. It was bullshit. I was just resisting sitting with myself because that's what meditation is. People say, oh, it's you're thinking of nothing or whatever. No. If you've ever done meditation, the first thoughts that come into your head is not nothing. You don't ignore what's there. You cannot ignore what thoughts come into your head through meditation. I don't care what anybody says, you cannot ignore them because you want to know why? Little secret, they won't let you. And the more you fight them, the more you ignore them, the louder they get. Those thoughts, and they are the thoughts that you didn't want to hear about yourself. I had to hear those thoughts about myself. Now, like I said to you, I'd already done a lot of work of working on myself already. But I knew to do meditation, I had to sit and listen to myself, listen to my inner thoughts, listen to what was going on in my head. And that's a really hard concept. Like, have you ever sat with yourself in silence? Have you heard the thoughts about comes out of yourself? Man, you can judge the crap out of yourself. I mean, judge. Oh, Lord. If you'd heard some of the thoughts that came out of my mouth when I first started doing it, well, not out my mouth, out my head, about who I was and why I was doing what I was doing. Oh, my good God. Not only was I up my own arse, I was telling myself bullshit, and I happened to be believing it. But that's the whole point. You realise these voices are not yours. You realise where they've come from and where they're associated from, where you learnt them, because they are learned thoughts. Generally, in my case, it was a lot of self-doubt. It was a lot of realising a conditioned love that I seem to repeat in patterns in relationships. And that was a really hard thing, because to understand what true love is that's for another one. We're talking meditation. I'll come back to this one. Meditation is not about ignoring. It's actually about hearing and accepting and realizing these are judgments. I like to think about them as these judgments that come into my head as little thought bubbles, and you can just sort of like mind blow them away, like a and they just disappear. Like, oh, there's another judgment thought. There's another, it's not true. Kind of blow them away. It's like this imagery I have in my head. And I sit with myself and realise that these are just thoughts. They're not exactly who I am, because who I am changes every day. The more I get to learn about myself. And that's quite a hard understanding, that you change the more you learn about yourself. The more you understand about yourself, the more it changes, because you're breaking habits that you've had for quite some time, because now that you understand why you have these habits, you break them because they might not serve you, or you need to adjust, change, whatever. And meditation for me consists of every morning, or most mornings. Sometimes I have to do it later in the day, depending on like how early my kids get up. Every morning I sit with myself for 20 to 25 minutes. I focus solely on my breathing. And any time I feel myself having a thought come in and I can't just accept and blow away, and I hear my heart racing, I focus back on my breathing, allow my heart to calm down, and then realise these are just thoughts like anything else. We all have those. Does anybody else have those thoughts where you're like walking down the road and you go, what if I jump in front of a bus? Oh, the cooker's on, you go, what if I put my hand on that? That's how ridiculous your thoughts can get. Now think about if you get really, now you can get really personal with yourself because you know yourself and you cannot hide from yourself. You cannot lie to yourself. So you can do these things where your brain goes, blah, 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 blah. This is real, blah, 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 this is real. And because you don't listen to them and you pretend they're not there, they get worse, they get louder, and they become part of who you are. Because people have said these and you've treated them like this for so long. So for me, meditation was learning to break down these things, seeing the connections and understanding myself. But meditation is not an easy process. It does take practice and it does take a certain amount of, you have to be kind to yourself. I keep stressing this, but kindness to yourself is one of the most important things you can do, because 9 times out of 10, we're brutal with ourselves. We would never, ever treat anybody the way we treat ourselves. And meditation is a way to be able to change that. How you do meditation is up to you. I just told you what I do. There are hundreds of ways to different ways to meditate. You choose what is best for you. There's body scanning, there's breathing, there's Wim Hof, there's lots of different ways. I might actually just put some under here for you. But it's not something that I ever thought would change me. And 9 weeks in, and I had something that a little upset me today. Just in the grand scheme of things, it's nothing, but it got to me because it was a trigger. So I sat and I meditated, and I feel good now. And that's what meditation can do. If you can sit with yourself, realize you cannot control anything other than your breathing. At this point in time, your breathing, your heart, you can control you, and that's it. That's what meditation can do for you. I recommend it to anybody. Even if you do, like me, resist it. Oh my God, I resisted it for so long. What was I thinking? Okay, so thank you for getting all the way to the end. If you did get all the way to the end, wow, you're amazing. Say bye-bye to Leo. Bye, Leo. And if you like this, like, subscribe. You know the deal.